Hey everybody, I'm Jimmy LaRue. I love God, family, and helping others.
What's up guys, Connor Brummett here. I just want to say that I love my family, I love wrestling, I love improving and learning.
Hey guys, I'm Dakota. I love God, business, and growing.
Hey guys, my name's Tony Moore, and I love my daughter, my friends, and creativity.
So we just explained to you love to the world. Love to the world is many, many things. Love is a loaded word. Love to me is something that's internal, and I want to explain this to you guys. Love is the reason I'm a part of this group with the starfish. And the story of that starfish is a little boy who's on the ocean, and he's throwing all these starfish back into the ocean that washed up on the shore. He keeps on doing it, he's throwing them in, and then this old guy comes over to him. He says, "What are you doing?" He says, "Well, I'm trying to save all these starfish." And he looks at him and he says, "Well, there's thousands all over the ocean here. The shore, you're never going to finish. And you're pretty much wasting your time." And he sits, he pauses there for a second, he looks at the starfish that's in his hand, he looks at the old man, and he looks into the ocean, he chucks it. He says, "Well, I just made a difference in that one's life, so that was worth it." So that honestly is the reason why we do all of this, to make an impact and show love to somebody. So love for me is something that's extremely powerful. It's a standard that really can't be met, but it's something to always strive for. So love is told to me in the Bible in 1 Corinthians. It tells us that love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy, it does not boast. It isn't proud. Love is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. It does not delight in evil, but it rejoices with the truth. Love always hopes, always perseveres. Love never fails. And Jesus showed us that love is selfless, not selfish. Because it's God first, others second, and I'm third. So as I just stated, love is selfless, not selfish. So when you're working from selfless, it's really interesting how your perspective in every situation changes. Because instead of working from the outside in, you're working from the inside out. And that's really where everything becomes something that can work towards your purpose, or something that can not only change your life, but maybe changing somebody else's. And that's something that's greater than yourself, and it can honestly generalize to many, many things that you do in life. So as we look into inside out, one good thing to consider, think about, is thinking, focus. So one thing that can really illustrate that is to put, let's say, two people that are on a plane, and they're both going to Flat Oak, Indiana to beautiful California, right? And as they start going, they have to land in Dallas-Fort Worth. And the first person that gets off the plane, I want you to pay attention where their focus is here. First person gets off the plane and says, "Gosh dang man, this is my paid time off. Supposed to be seeing my family, this and this." Naturally happens to me every time. Gosh dang, I don't even know what I'm going to do. Oh man, everything always works out for me like that. It's whatever. Keeps walking. Now the second person gets off the plane, calls somebody right away. Says, "Hey, how's it going, fam?" "Absolutely. No. I'm actually, I'm not in California. I'm in Dallas-Fort Worth." Yeah. No. But I'm super thankful that the plane's on the ground and that I'm alive. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. Yeah. No, honestly, I never would have met this guy Carl over here at the airport who's connecting to this other flight. He had some problems, and turns out I got the opportunity to serve him, so that's really cool. And I've never seen Dallas-Fort Worth either, so we'll see what it has for me. Yeah. No, I don't know if I'm going to get out there tonight, tomorrow, whatever's clever. But I'm just going to see what it has for me. All right, sounds good. Love you too. Clear. Shh. Hangs up. So where was the focus? For the first person, they were focused on the disadvantages and how they are not being served, how everything sucks, right? And what you think about is what becomes. What you think is what you create. So that was the first person. The second person was thinking about where is the opportunity. It's not a problem, it's an opportunity. I have no problems in life, only opportunities. To show patience, love, understanding, kindness. As we go back to the definition, that's exactly what it is. So that person got the opportunity to experience something that we call joy, right? Joy versus happiness. Because happiness depends upon what happens. But joy is something that's internal. It's from the Lord, and you can call upon it whenever you want. So for me, I've got the opportunity to learn how to harness that and move forward in everything that I do. As we change the thinking, what you think is what you create, now that's going to give us a category of response over a reaction. So there's three things that mediate a reaction and three things that mediate a response. So let's talk about a reaction first. Because as I talked earlier, love is selfless, not selfish. Well, the reaction has nothing but selfishness, unfortunately. So the first thing that happens with that is usually impulse. Because something will happen to you in life. It can happen to you or for you. But in a situation with impulse, it's to you and you're reactionary. So you have the reaction to survive. That's how we're built. So the impulse is there. Then there's emotion. And the third thing is you're focused on yourself, right? So that's what mediates a reaction in situations. Now with the paradigm shift, we're trying to transition into selfless. So as we go into a response, which is over a reaction, we look at the response. So there's three things that mediate that as well. So before that, when that impulse comes, you cannot control that. Same thing with thoughts, impulses, emotions. Those are going to happen. But you have the opportunity to choose whether you stay focused on it. So you take that impulse, instead of having the impulse happen, you think first. So think first. Second is you deny yourself. And then the third is you show love. And there's many different ways to show love. So the last thing that mediates the response is love. Now, the different ways that you can show love, one way that I learned was through the book called How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. It's called Praise, Criticism, Praise. Positive, negative, positive. Some people call it the sandwich technique. So you start with the positive. You don't just start off with what's on your heart or what's getting you frustrated or whatever that might be. You start with the positive and how you can bring light out of the situation. Then you go to the negative, the thing that is an opportunity, and then you go to the positive after that. So one way that it can really illustrate how to understand this technique of love, I'll show you guys a response over reaction situation with my dad when I was really little. So with my dad, imagine me when I was really little. Little Jimmy that's about 12 years old. Little kid with ADHD, couldn't really focus on anything, super excited, super hyper about absolutely everything, and it was extremely annoying to a lot of people. Still is today, I'm working on it. But as my dad gave me an order, he said, Jimmy, I want you to go outside, I want you to get some firewood. I said, yes sir, right away sir. I go outside and just imagine little Jimmy getting this wagon, filling it up with wood, bringing it back in, I'm so excited. I get it done. Dad comes downstairs and he saw what I did wrong. So Dad had a super long day and he was super frustrated. And then once he saw this, that was an impulse. Gosh, dang idiot. So he walks downstairs, he sees me, and he tells me exactly what he thinks with a reaction. He says, Jimmy, how many times I gotta tell you? Do this, and this. Grow a brain. Walks back upstairs. So for me in that situation, what did I learn? I learned that Dad isn't very nice, and I can't really do anything right. Thanks a lot. But let's do a paradigm shift and go back to a response versus a reaction. So Dad, he comes downstairs again and he sees what I did wrong. He has the impulse, oh man. But then he stops, he thinks first. He denies himself. So he takes the focus off of himself in a situation as his inconvenience and he looks at little Jimmy. Okay. He sees me in the situation and he sees how can I show love? Praise, criticism, praise. Where's the positive in this situation? Well, Jimmy did what I asked. That's pretty neat. So he comes to me, he says, Jimmy, hey, positive. Thank you so much for doing what I asked you. You're a hard worker and I've always loved that about you. Then he transitions to the negative, the opportunity. Now, for next time, if you want to make it a little easier on you and me, go ahead and do this, and this. Transitions to the positive. But again, thank you so much for doing what I asked you. I can't wait to see how good of a job you do next time. I love you, son. Walks back upstairs. I don't know about you, but I'm ready to go get some more firewood. You know what I'm saying? So that is the difference between a reaction or a response. So we always want to try to have a response instead of a reaction in form of love. Because a response will enable you to feel empowered, significant, worth it. Whereas a reaction is going to make you feel belittled, small, and not worth it. So, to really emphasize with love, we looked at the response over the reaction. So when you see the reaction, we have to notice that when you're totally driven by impulse, emotion, and focus on yourself, that is completely selfish. And in that selfish moment for my dad, that situation was a lot quicker, if you notice, if you time it. But it wasn't that much of a difference. Maybe 1 to 5 minutes in a difference between the reaction versus the response. So when it was all mediated by what he wanted and to please himself in that situation and satisfy, it's interesting that I felt nothing but belittled, insignificant, small, not worth it, and really no forward direction after that either. But if you look at the situation with the response, you can notice that he denied himself and he made it about me in that situation and how I could grow and be a better version of myself for next time, which actually ends up serving him better too because I do a better job. But I don't think, as he tried to formulate that into his mind, it wasn't just for him, it was genuinely for me. So that's one way that we can experience love in our lives when it's not just about you, because again, love is selfless, not selfish. So as we continue on this journey to demonstrate love in situations and be more selfless, it's really interesting. Something for me, my purpose is to basically pursue the 2 commandments that God gave us. Jesus summed up all 10 in just 2. He said, love God and love others. So when I focus on that, God first, others second, and I'm third, it's really awesome just the things that can come from that. So to give you guys this love, it's interesting that it'll really wake you up in the morning even faster. You guys can look back at Dakota Bailey's video where he talked about how to increase self-confidence, or Tony Moore's video where he kind of shows you how to cope with something that was really hard, whether it's betrayal or whatever that might be in your life. So with this love being the mediator, or the motivator, it's pretty cool. I have noticed that for me, love is my purpose. So if you guys can make a mission statement for yourself, explaining that, for me, and I learned this from Tony Robbins actually, the structure, but Jimmy's purpose is to love God and love others by being and whatever that is, make sure that it's a part of love. So by being an empowering, compassionate, loving, impactful, honest, trustworthy, and you get that list of what is empowering to you, what is love based off the definition. So Jimmy's purpose is to love God and love others by being a empowering, compassionate, loving, wild example of the limitless possibilities God has for us when we figure out what the heck life is all about. Because for me, life is about showing love and demonstrating love to others and reflecting that light. Because as again, we're always going to transition into our other videos. Dakota talked about being a light to the world. I want to let you guys know that you are a light. And I encourage you to let that light shine. Don't try to dim it down. That's resistance. That's the enemy trying to tell you that you're not worth it and that it's too narcissistic or this or this. Because when it is for you, it's selfish. But when it's for loving God and loving others, it's selfless. So I just wanted to encourage you guys to go out there and love others. It'll actually increase your awareness of different situations. You'll be more sensitive to opportunities to show love. Where somebody doesn't feel acknowledged or loved in a situation, you can see that because you're not just focused on yourself or the phone that you're looking at. You can actually see that that person just is feeling down. So lastly, guys, I'm forever thankful for the opportunity to maximize my life while maximizing others who choose it. So guys, I encourage you to choose love. Thank you so much. I don't know if I should have stopped.
Alright, you're still good. We'll just keep it rolling.
Alright. Go ahead and do this, and this. But again, I can't wait to see how good of a job you do next time. Rick.